All right, everybody. So here we are 2 hours later with an introduction. All right, everybody out there in the CraftChest Nation. Is that CraftChest here? And I'm about done for the night. And never mind this watermark because this is part of story time with CraftChest. I don't know how long this is going to be. And whenever I partake in a adult smoke, not the illegal type, I'm going to change scenes to this. Well, actually, I'll minimize all that good stuff, but I don't even need that up. I don't even know what I'm doing. So, and I'm going to do a one take on this because I am so frustrated that I have taken my prescription 800s that I had left over from my wisdom tooth extraction. And yes, I still have some. Because I have a very high tolerance of pain. But my headache today ensued because everything around here is just buck wild crazy at the moment, including my personal life. So, once again, never mind this. We'll get rid of this watermark at a later time. I'm actually on OBS and listening to my device. So, if there's any feedback, I do apologize about that. If there's any scratching, gnawing, meowing, gunshots, road noise, I do apologize because I'm actually having to old school my audio. And plus, they drove me to breaking open a bottle. So, whatever. It's coffee. Iced coffee. That's what it is. So, where do I start? All right, and this may be a podcast. I don't even know. This may be a podcast, and maybe I should have shared this with somebody because it all started last Tuesday. All right, whenever I got in, what is this thing called? Let me look and see what it's called. The Phantom 120 SE. The Thermal SE 120, which was recommended by Paul's Hardware, and I'm not blaming it on it, okay? Not going to blame it on it yet, okay? But I haven't had a problem with the newest version of the Too Wicked PC, which everybody saw that last video where we did the upgrades and upgrades all the way up to the RX 7600 graphics card. We got the RX 5600, or what is it, Ryzen 5600X CPU, 36 speed on the RAM, 32 gigs, yada yada smack. The most recent version, the P5 Crucials on the hard drives, you name it, it's the newest versions that I could find, except for the case. Now, I don't know what went wrong, and I will change scenes to let you see the inside of the case, and maybe some of those I Spy, you can find it type of people can see maybe where a problem is, but all I did was change the fan. I removed the GPU to get the fan in, and I actually have a video that I'm going to be posting after this showing the process, but I can't show you the after effects and the new thermals because the computer bricked after I installed the fan. And once again, I'm not blaming that on the new fan because I chatted with Guntoad. He's like, how would that even happen? You know, what the fuck, man? You have the worst luck with computers. Just buy a pre-built. If I had money to just, I would, but I don't. I'm having to like zip this stuff in Klarna and borrow from my pay, just to buy this stuff to get my PCs because, one thing we're going to get onto, and I don't want to digress and forget about it, is that my doggone debit card got compromised. And I'm sure after they looked at my account, if they got in at all, they probably, I don't know, I'm still waiting on a donation, whenever they saw the pitifulness of it, because they probably thinking they're going to get like $30K, and they're like, $256? What the fuck? But anyway, I digress. So anyway, I started off with a bad week last week with the newest version of my PC, and the motherboard bricked. I don't know why. I've tried everything that I can imagine trying. Taking it completely out. Making sure my standoffs are correct. Making sure that I plug one thing in at a time and testing it. Watching countless numbers of YouTube videos, all the way from Paul's Hardware to you name. But he's my favorite, but that's why I don't, know any of the others. Not Linus, I guess, but his really was different. He was just talking about mainly BIOS updates and the power goes out and this, that, and the other, and all kind of other videos. So what makes a motherboard brick? Did you blow a capacitor? Did you have static discharge? Because I did blow it out. I took my compressor and I took a widespread blower. Actually, I took a Raptor gun blower. I didn't take a fine blower because I didn't want to be too aggressive. So I took a wide blower because, Ezra gets up on the case, and anybody that knows the, the Cooler Master, I don't know what the actual name of it is, but the half, it's a HHF from back in the day, has that grill on top, and she loved the heat. But surprisingly, when I opened it up, it didn't have like tons of cat hair, which means that CraftChest is actually feeding his cat a good diet. Yes, that's a good diet. When your cat don't shed all over the place, it gets on the sheets, and yes, they shed. I'm not going to say she doesn't shed. There was a little hair in there, but for the most part, it was just mainly dust. And you see, let me actually show you. Let me minimize this, because I don't actually need to look at that. Well, actually, I do, because I don't know the controls. But let me minimize this and show you this. And I will turn the volume all the way down, and you can actually see the condition of, we're walking up to it, and right here, you can see the condition of the inside of the case. All right, so it's not bad. You see a little dust on top of the power supply over here, but for the most part, not bad at all, in my opinion. I mean, and this was after I got everything installed. So there we go. And I'm going to come back over to this scene here. So I'm not really kind of understanding why that would brick the PC. I'm really confused upon, but nevertheless, something knocked it out, because I even changed power supplies. I have a Be Quiet, and the computer that I built for JP, about the same time I started this whole project about 8 years ago, he has the identical power supply. So I took and changed everything over, and still nothing. Basically what happens, I plug everything in, turn the power supply on, the RGB turns on the motherboard, I hit the power button, nothing. Turn everything off, I go to jump it, nothing. Still get RGB, and you could tell it's charging the caps, because you get that little pop, just like when you hook up a car amplifier. But I get nothing. Not jumping it, not pushing a button, not discharging it, not bringing it back. It's dead. And I have no clue why. Now, I am going to replace it as soon as I can. But at the moment, my bank account is frozen. And we'll get to that later. So, after my motherboard died and my computer died, I said, well, you know what? I have this other computer. It's got the MSI. Is it MSI? Yes, MSI Bazooka, the B550 Bazooka. And it's not the greatest computer in the world, but it does have my original Ryzen 1700X, 8 core, 16 threads. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just install the GPU, the RAM, and the hard drive was already new. I upgraded the hard drive. I refreshed everything and reinstalled everything, like, I don't know, almost a year ago, I guess. And put it in there to see maybe if there was some fault in that. And the only fault that this computer has is that the RAM will not go to the XMP files, that blue screens. It's got some type of little funkiness to it. And it may be a setting that I'm not aware of, and I haven't taken time to research for it to do it. Maybe it's a BIOS update. I don't know. Haven't gotten that far. But it does work on the default settings in the BIOS. All right, and I'm sure there's a BIOS update up there that will increase the XMP, but it works. Here I am. I made it work. So the graphics card is good. The RAM is good. As far as default settings, the hard drive is good, and that's pretty much all that's in that one, because here we are. All right. So I made a computer work. The only problem is that I had to do 95 different updates on XSplit. It didn't detect the microphone, so I was like, well, screw that. Look at this. I wish y'all could see this. She was like climbing up the walls. She was like, ah, pay attention to me. Oh, me. What are you doing? I'm making a video. She'll probably jump up on my lap at some point in time. Oh, Esri Dax. Esri. There she goes. All right. So anyway, I got a computer to work. There's always a backup. And if this one breaks down, guess what? I got another backup. The old Sandy Bridge original computer. It's laying in there in a box that I was using the half case. What is it? A half 912. That's what the case is called. The one that I won on Newegg, I still have that computer. Can y'all believe that? The one that Paul from Paul's Hardware actually put together, I still have that original PC, the original hard drive, motherboard, all of it. I still even have the graphics card. It's laying in there, right there. Uh-oh, there she goes again. She's climbing. So I got backups to the backups to the backups. I guess me making a video. Oh, here she is, right here. Oh, get a good glimpse, everybody. Tell them hello. Say hello. There you go. All right, then. Go play. Woo! There she goes. Anyway, so we got a backup to the backup to the backup. And if that goes bad, I still have another backup. So we can go old. I'm like the hoarder of PC parts. So, you know how people say, well, let's see if this still is viable in the year 2024. And I'm like, I got one older than that. And I still have my old Dell laptop in there. I don't know if that thing would ever fire up. The battery's probably dead. CMOS probably all ganked up and everything, whatever. I digress. Again, as usual. Y'all know me, so whatever. So the PC died. Next chapter. So I go on. Through the week. What else happened? What was the next thing to happen to me? So Wednesday, I'm troubleshooting that. When was I off last week? Friday? Okay. So Friday. Here we go. Friday, I go to troubleshoot and see why this motherboard wasn't working. Didn't work. At the same time as all this, I told JP from the Gods of Games, he asked me, hey, bruh, you know, I got all this stuff here, and we were talking about putting some bass, which I posted a video. You don't know that gray box with the 212s in it that I refurbished? That was like just a day project or whatever. He still has all that, but one of the subs were blown. All right. So that Friday, I went and I was like, you know what? I'm going to work on the computer until he calls me. And I did. So I couldn't get anything to happen. So there's that. And I even worked on it tonight and I couldn't get it to do anything. So Friday, he calls me. I was like, all right, I'll be over in a few minutes. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to wait and do my laundry. When I go help him, I'll do a load of clothes and help him put his system in. And that should be about it, because it shouldn't take but about 2.5 hours to get some laundry done and get a system in. And that's what it took. But I said, hey, you got a blown subwoofer. Take that subwoofer out. I'm going to go to the house. I'm going to take my clothes. I'm going to go fold my clothes. And I'm going to go and get the other subwoofers. Now, in the meantime, all this, let's rewind. In the middle of doing this system install, we heard back off in the distance, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, what the hell, dude? What's going on? That's like right over there. He goes, yeah, man. I guess somebody, I don't know what's going on. You don't know JP. If anybody remembers JP, he's just, nothing bothers that dude. It's like, what the fuck? Me, I'm like, on edge, that old army, whatever. Just being on alert whenever I hear a pop, pop, pop. I get alert. So anyway, he's doing something. He's all up under wiring something up. And I ease over to my car. And I grab my sidearm, all right? So I put that on my hip just in case, because you don't know what's going on in the year 2024. You don't know. You might have some of these creeping up on you. You don't know. All right? So it was just in case. All right? Never want to have to deal with that, but you never know. So we going about, and then I was like, we did a sound check. I was like, yeah, this subwoofer's blown. All right, I'm going to go get the other ones from the house. I want to get that stuff up out of here anyway. I got 2 more over here. But one of them is the autograph one, and the other one's like the old one. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to go grab it. And he didn't hear me, and I said, hey, I'm going to go grab my clothes right quick, fold them up, and I'm going to take them on my way, because that way I'm not a wasted trip. So I leave out. And 99.9 to infinity of the time, and this is a legend from these guys anyway. Let's get to the big story. So I leave, minding my business, like I always do. For how many years have I done this? And everybody knows, in my videos, I got the Defiant, and we have the Cavalier, the red car, okay? So I leave out. I go to the end of the street. Now, in my mind, I don't know if I did or not. I'm not even going to try to test whether or not I did or not. But there ain't nobody around me. I look down to the left. There's a truck way down. And I'm talking about 50 yards or more down the street to my left. I look right. I look straight. Ain't nobody coming. And I go. Now, did I turn on a turn signal or not? I don't remember. That's neither here nor there. But I go. So I go, and, I'm not thinking anything of it, so I'm just cruising on along, 30, 35, whatever the speed limit is back there. I get to the end of the street, and when you get to the end of the street, it's a main highway. It's a T. You can go right, or you can go left. That's it. So I turn left because that's where the house is. It's right there. It's right across the street. I turn onto that highway and I get lit up. And these people are in my trunk. I thought they were going to push me. They were so close. There's this big old 4-door whatever on my butt. I mean, like this. Lights. Pop, 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 pop. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I was like, oh, hell no. Because my driveway's right there. So I pull up my driveway. And then I was like, well, holy shit. If this is really a law officer, and I got a sidearm, the one time that I ever put on my sidearm when I'm just across the street. Here we go. So I pull up in that driveway, leave the lights on, turn the car off. I think I even took the keys out and put them on the seat and just held my hands like this at the window. And he come up. And no word of a lie, everybody. He didn't identify himself. He didn't say, you know why I'm pulling you over, the typical bullshit. He said, he comes up, and I was like, can I help you? Me. Can I help you? Is there any reason why my drug dog would be smelling narcotics coming out of your vehicle? And I'm looking. I'm like, first of all, in my mind, there ain't no dog out here. So I was like, I don't think so. And I'm looking for a dog. What do you mean you don't think so? I was like, no, I don't have any drugs. I don't do drugs. That's not me. I don't, whatever. And I still got my hands up because I don't want to become a YouTube video. You don't know what I'm saying? So he's like, well, what do you mean you don't think so? I was like, I don't think so. I was like, dude, I don't do drugs. Man, I'm an Army veteran. I'm not no drug dealer or drug head or whatever like that. And he goes, you know how many times I hear that a day? No, because I'm not a drug head. I don't do drugs. I drink liquor. Not at the moment, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, he says, I need your license and proof of insurance. All right. I can get that for you, but what do you mean, but? I mean, this dude was all like, woo. Like, here I am. Don't look nothing like the typical gray skin, green skin meth head, okay? I don't look like none of that. And I don't want this to sound the wrong way, everybody, but I'm going to stop right here and put a little bracket around me. I do not look like the typical white boy on the street slinging drugs. Y'all can attest to this. Everybody that's known me for years and years can attest to this. There ain't no way you could put me in that bracket. And here this dude is, this far away from me, shining a light, not in my face, but in the car. He can see me. Gray hair and all, can tell that shit. You can tell those some bitches, okay? Or as in MST through K, son of a bitches. Anyway, you can tell them. I don't look nothing like that group, okay? You know what I'm talking about. All right, if you don't, I can show you some. Just look up Rucka Ali. He'll enlighten you. So I'm sitting there like this. That's why I still got my hands. I'm telling the story. So I said, I can get my license for you, but, and I saw a dude out of the corner of my eye because I got good peripheral. So I saw this dude over here. I was like, oh, shit, he's got a partner. And I said, I have a sidearm. And at that time, I saw him do like this. He's got a weapon. He's got a sidearm. And he goes, yeah, he just told me. And he did like this. So, good on him for that dude not drawing down on me. Okay? Because I'm sitting here like this saying, I can get it for you. I was like, now, how do you want me to get my ID for you? You want me to step out of the car? You want me to give you my weapon? What do you want? You tell me. And the whole time I'm sitting here like this. Hands up, don't shoot. And I don't mean that as being there. But once again, I didn't want to become a YouTube video. So he says, well, if you could hand me the weapon, the firearm, that'd be good. If you could hand me the whole holster and everything, that'd be even better. I was like, you got the whole holster? You got it. And I was like, I was in my mind, don't you get antsy over there. I am now reaching for my holster. And I'm telling you right now, this isn't in my mind. I am actually saying this shit. I am now reaching for my holster. I am now removing my entire holster. Here is my holster, and I've flipped it around backwards and handed it to him ass first. Just like that. Brother, man, it was like a video game. Whoo! I wasn't about to play with these people. Now, mind you, at this entire time that all this is going down, he's got my ID, he's got my firearm, he's got my tag number in the back. He has not yet to identify himself. CraftChest, what's wrong with you? That should have been the first thing you asked him. Well, I'm trying to cooperate. All right? So now I done give up my defense. If it is something. Because they were in a truck, and I saw it was a truck. It was a 4-door truck. I saw it. But at the same time, you see all them lights, you kind of, whatever. So now this dude, he goes, I'm going to step away for a minute. Are you a felon? No, I'm not a felon, sir. Once again, I'm not. I mean, it's amazing to me. What the fuck? Now, twice or 3 times he done asked me if I'm a felon. He asked me if I have narcotics. Is there any reason to believe there might be narcotics? I was like, no, there's not. And I straight told him, I drink liquor. I don't do drugs. Anyway, Mr. Leahy would be proud. The character, anyway. So he steps back. And I'm trying not to forget anything. So he comes back. And baby girl, this man comes back to my window and says, let me tell you what's going on here. I'm not trying to get you on some trumped up, exact words now, trumped up traffic violations. Well, I hope not. Why'd you use the word trumped up violation? You know what I mean? We're with and I'm not going to tell you what state. We're with the beep narcotics task force. Okay? We ain't talking local. We're talking state. All right? So we're going to leave it at that. I was like, okay. Well, you got the wrong man. All right? Because all I'm doing is doing some laundry. And I had clothes right behind me. And I was like, you got the wrong person. Sir, I'm going to need you to step out of the car, please. Why? At this point, I'm like in my mind, why? You done ran my plates. You got my license. You got my firearm. You can run all 3 and know that I'm legit. Why? ¿Por qué? You got 3 different. And I got my military ID. You want that too? I should have just gave him that. It's like, what the? Really? So I was like, yes, sir, I'll step out of the vehicle, but I don't know what all this is about, man. I really don't. Well, we have reason to believe that there might be narcotics. Why? Why? I'm sitting here going, in the meter of me respecting and trying to back up every single day in my mind of law enforcement, local, state, and whatever county is dwindling because of bullshit like this. I was like, I don't even know what I did. You haven't even identified what I did. Well, you didn't use the turn signal back there on Travis. And I'll say that name because I don't know what I did. Really? All this because of a turn signal? In the back of a residential neighborhood? All right. So I'm still sitting here like this. His partner, and I stepped out of the vehicle. I was like, where do you want me? I was like, because I don't know what you want. I'm not used to this. You can step to the back of the vehicle here, sir. So I stepped back. His partner's like, you can relax. I'm like, no, I'm good. And in my mind, still, I didn't say it out loud. I don't want to become a YouTube video or TikTok or whatever. I'm like, I'm good. And he's sitting there. You know how they do. Eyeballing you. Looking for something. Yeah, I think I see something right there. Yeah, he kept looking at my crotch. I'm like, dude, why are you looking at my dick? In my mind. I didn't say it out loud. But I'm sitting there. Why are you looking at me like that? So this dude proceeds, the other one, the main, I guess. I don't know who he was. He still hadn't identified himself. Other than we're with Task Force. Task Force. You know? And they said, we got a drug problem down here in this neighborhood. I was like, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. And this is where he proceeds to say, what are you doing down in that neighborhood? I was doing laundry. I was like, the clothes are still right there in the back seat. I was like, they're probably still warm if you want to feel them. I was like, the doors were open. Feel free. Well, sir, you have no reason for us not to search your vehicle. I was like, dude, search away. Whatever. Really? I was like, you could search the vehicle, but you ain't going to find nothing. And he kind of looked at me like, whatever. And I'm sitting back there going, okay, do what you got to do. All right? Because you're not going to find anything. Has anybody out there in the CraftChest Nation ever, other than liquor, ever had any, going to town, ever had any issues with hearing anything about me getting, Ricky, Julian, Bubbles, whatever? No, you haven't. Let's just nip that in the bud, because I don't. So this dude proceeds to open the driver's side was already open. I mean, this dude goes up under the dash, under the seat. He's digging, pulling back carpet. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He goes to the passenger side, pulls back. He's looking at cigarette packs, empty ones, mind you. I got mail sitting up there. He comes back. And he goes to yada yada smack, saying shit, whatever. And then he goes, I appreciate your cooperation. I was like, do you want to look in the trunk? Because I can pop the trunk for you. There ain't nothing there either. And you didn't look in the back seat. So what are we doing? Over an alleged turn signal. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, bro, I always just automatically, I know in the Defiant, I automatically it's a pinky thing. Because it's right there on my wheel. Let me get up there. I just knock her down. Knock her up. Whatever. The turn signal, that is. So, I'm sitting there. No, I think we're done here. I appreciate your cooperation and appreciate your service and all that. I was like, well, I appreciate y'all's service too and everything, but really, sir, I'm just sitting here, and I don't mean to be looking any type of way, but I'm just, I'm sitting here wondering what it is. Well, you didn't use a turn signal back there on that street. So it entails all of this. Yeah, because we got a major drug problem back there in that neighborhood, and yeah. Oh, yeah. So that, I said, look, dude, I'm like the most law-abiding citizen that you could see. I guess other than the alleged turn signal that you could ever find. I was like, I'm a shadow, dude. And he looked crazy. I was like, I'm one of them people that you don't ever hear about. All right? Unless you've met with me. You know what I mean? Don't come and try to take shit off my property. Then we're going to have problems. And I think that's one of the reasons why. Oh, yeah, and I didn't mention that in the middle of all that, I said I live literally right there. If we rewind back to the part where he said, what are you doing? I was like, I was doing laundry. And I was in my driveway. So I literally live right here. So blah, blah, blah. So back to the present, whatever. I was like, so he says, we're done here, and then I'm sitting there left, limp noodle, like, okay, so Hordo, hold the door or whatever, right? I don't even know what it did. And I'm still upset about that. Over an alleged turn signal. You can tell anybody anybody that they didn't use the turn signal. Can I pause this? Because I have a little bit of a coughing attack happening. I may have to render this. How many minutes are we? I may get over it shortly, but sometimes I'll get a frog in my throat. It may be over with. Let's see. Anyway. All right. So there we go. So then, that's Friday. Should I leave that in there? I think that's realistic. It's like a podcast, Oh, it happens. It's over with, though. There's something like, I might leave that in there. So Saturday, did I open? I think I opened Saturday. All right, so Saturday, I did. I opened at work Saturday. I got off and I was like, let me go home. I'm going to try this PC one more time. I'm going to try to fix it one more time. And then if it don't, I'm just going to buy a new motherboard. So I go home. I'm telling, I think I messaged Gun Toad again, a couple of people. I was like, hey, what do you think? You need to just buy a pre-built. That's just what everybody's saying. Buy a pre-built. Stop wasting money on the pieces and parts, bruh. So, maybe I do. If I had $3,000 to throw at something, I would. But I don't. I guess, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Let's move on. So I go home and I'm working on the PC. And finally, about 7:30, 8 o'clock, I said, you know what? I can't fix it. I got to get a new motherboard. Because that's the only thing I think of. And it's a really good motherboard. What did I just say it was? It's the ASRock X570 Steel Legend. That's a really good motherboard in my opinion. I mean, it's not like the $179, $200, $300 motherboards, which I have looked at, which one of them is on sale for $179. That's normally $289 right now. So they might be clearancing out some of these AM4 platform motherboards. And I might grab one of those. CraftChest, why don't you just build an AM5 platform? Well, because AM4 is still relevant. It will be for a little while. So there I am at home, and here's Esri, wherever she is right now. She's meow this, meow that, meow, 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 because I ran out of wet food. Oh, my goodness. And I was running low on dry food, I think, a little bit low. Yeah. I was running low on dry food. That's what it was. So she got done eating, because she's on a schedule. I don't know if anybody knows. Since she was a kitten, I was like, you know what? This cat's going to be on a schedule. She gets wet food, morning, kibble, dry kibble during the day when I'm not here, or if I am here, and she'll get a wet food at night. Like little portions. I ain't talking about like cans of it or whatever, but portions. So wet food, dry food, wet food. So she got on that cycle. And actually, that's a good thing for a cat. You know what I mean? That way she knows what she's getting. She knows what she's getting. Now, the bad thing is you ain't here to give it to them whenever they're used to getting it to them, getting it, then you might have issues. The only time that ever happened, I said, hey, bruh, you got a key to the house. Go feed the cat for me. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. So she's on a schedule. And she was running low. And apparently the dry food was stale. You know how they could tell how stuff is stale. Oh, cats. This has been here for a whole half day. I need fresh stuff. What are you doing? There's a hole. There's a bald spot right there in the corner of the bowl. I can't eat that. What? What are you talking about? You know how they are. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to get you some food. And you know what? I close tomorrow, so I'm going to go to the corner store. So I did. So I went to the Dollar General, got me some supplies. I left the Dollar General, paid for my stuff, and went to the corner store. Got me a little bottle. Not a big one. I got a little one. And went to pay for it, and I was yada yada smack with the guy behind the counter. Didn't even think of it. And you know what? Come to think of it. Now that I really think about it, I don't even think it was the same plug-in that I had been plugged into. So either the Dollar General or there, somebody got a hold of my banking account. Because 99.999% of the time I go to the corner store, I tap. Which I don't think those skimmers can pick up tap yet. But if you plug in, I think that's how they get you when you plug in. I think. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But 99.9% of the time I tap. This time I plugged. So I get home and I'm like, well, let me go ahead and buy that motherboard. Declined. Like, what? I just used Zip this past Christmas for this new 7600. Tried it again. Declined. Well, shit. Maybe they changed policies. I went and looked. No. It was the same. Should have been able to do it. Got a checking account. Just used it. You've used it in the past. Payment successful. Declined. I was like, okay, well, screw that. I guess that's not going to happen today. So I went on down the road. I closed it out, finished my night, went to bed, whatever. The next day, here's where it peaks. So I go to work. Everything's fine. Wasn't thinking nothing about that online payment. I just thought it might have been like every other, pay overtime thing that says declined, whatever, for whatever reason. All right. So I was like, I'm about to go to lunch, and I was like, man, I kind of want some Chinese. And there's a Chinese place right across the street. So I was like, I think I'm going to go over there. I went through that parking lot. I was like, what the hell? It was like not a spot left. I was like, oh no, pack that. So I went down to my other favorite place. So I go in. Denied. Like, what? I was like, well, and I did. I was like, I literally just checked my account before I came here because I always, and I mean always, check my account before I go to lunch. That way I know if I can go to Cane's or the Sicily's or the Chinese place, or if I need to be going to the Dollar Tree and grab me some noodles. All right? I always do. Always. And I was like, well, I know it said I had plenty of money in there this time because I've been, this past couple of weeks I hadn't really been spending a whole lot. But it said, no, I'm sorry, sir. Maybe your account is locked. Is your account locked? I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe it is. I might need to step to the side and see. So I went and I checked again. Wasn't nothing wrong. I was like, no, it says I got money, but I'm not saying anything. Let me go out and call these people and see what's going on. So I'll go and call them. Get to talking to them. Yes, sir. Seems like last night, about whatever time it was, someone attempted to make a $14.62 purchase from Greece. Was that you, sir? No, it wasn't me. No, definitely not me. My private jet's in the shop right now and hadn't been able to get overseas here lately. So, no, that wasn't me. It was like the last purchase I made was at Dollar General, the corner store, and I tried to buy a motherboard off of Newegg. So, one of those three places is the last place that I spent any money. Yes, sir, I understand. So, this wasn't you. Our fraud detection picked it up. I was like, no, it wasn't me. Okay, sir, we're going to go ahead and deactivate this account, and you'll have to either wait for a new card and account number for 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days? Man, I'm broke as fuck. I'm on a quarter tank of gas. What am I supposed to do? Well, if you could make it to your local branch, sir, the next couple of days, sound like an airplane. Sound like Quagmire. Actually, now that I think about it. Remember Quagmire? Anyway, so I was like, I'll go to my local branch. So anyway, today I ended up doing that. So I had to change all my passwords, change all my PIN numbers, and that SOB out there, whoever you are, bruh, you hacked the wrong account, because you look at my fundage and, you and your cronies will probably leave a donation or something. Y'all be like, oh, man, we need to set up, GoFundMe for this guy. He wrote it. Anyway, so, and there was something happened today. What happened today? Oh, yeah, this. I was like, let me make a video. So, like 9 hours ago, I guess now, it's been, let's see, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9. So, 5 hours ago. Holy crap. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make me I need to make a video. Story time with CraftChest. I don't care how long it is. Let's do this. And I went to fire up XSplit. Of course, it had 95 different updates, and it didn't pick up my audio. OBS ain't picking up my audio. Everything says it's there, and you can hear me now. But I had to tell the computer to actually listen to the device. So, once again, if there's any reverb or feedback, I do apologize, because that's what it is. I don't know what's going on. Haven't had this issue ever. All right, but I figured it out, because you're not going to hold me down. What's Rob Zombie's old song from White Zombie? Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. Anyway. Is that enough? So I'm telling you, I've had a hell of a week. And that ain't even to even start to say the whole beginning of this shit is because of Helldivers, Gun Toad. All right? I don't know if Gun Toad watches this far into my videos, but motherfucker, you gotta get Helldivers too, man. I was like, all right, done. Because I was thinking about Helldivers or Last Epoch or one other game. I forget what it was. But Last Epoch and Helldivers was a couple of games out of 3 that I really wanted to get here recently. And, oh, yeah, get it. So I got Helldivers, and it was messing up the other PC because of temp spikes. And I think it's because it's unoptimized, and, my cooling solution probably was unoptimized. So it was spiking and turning the computer off or making the game glitch, whatever. That's what started the whole thing. Ugh. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, thank you for listening to Storytime with CraftChest. This is one of those one takes. I'm sorry about the throat thing. Hey, and at least I didn't change scenes to, whatever. It's a craft of the mind. Go out there and have some fun. And you can see I'm still all smiles, because you know what? You're never going to stop me. Never going to stop. Stop. Don't. I better stop that, because I'm liable to get flagged for copyright. Woo! Never give up, everybody. Find your MacGyver. Your inner MacGyver lives. Woo! Love you.